Dude, what the did you think about this movie? I've been dying to talk about it with you.
This movie's so fucking weird.
I mean, it's definitely
so weird.
a work of absurdist art that, as you can tell by my notes, has this movie made me feel stupid.
Editor Greg in the future, put this at the beginning of the episode. Hey, we're about to get in some really dense shit. This is probably the one movie we recommend you watch before watching the main episode.
Yeah, actually,
just go watch Brazil right now. Turn this off. Turn this off. Brazil. Go watch this first so that we can talk about it together and you understand, because this is so dense.
Yeah, and for those who are like, when I say something, you're like, you're misremembering that. I tried to focus as much as I can, but you're gonna miss things or misremember things.
It is incredibly detailed. It is very dense. Just go watch it. Come back.
In the best way. Like, in a good way. That was a positive experience for me, because I'm like, I can see that
The Matrix. That's how I felt watching this movie. I felt so low-key. Opposite of you, I felt smart. Like, granted, I am like sitting there like, symbolism, hold on. Symbolism, okay.
I feel like that orc meme where it's like, yes, I can understand surface level things of hyper surveillance and but the deeper themes elude me. Yeah, that was me during this movie.
Oh yeah, I was 100% just trying to,
like, I was
not just make it through and understanding it, but immediately, like, just on opening, I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna understand a lot of what's going on.
Yeah,
immediate vibe.
It was chaotic. This is one of those movies, like, this is, obviously I enjoy watching the movies on the rewatch, right? This is the first movie so far that I've been like, no, I need to rewatch this, and then I need to watch the European version, which is the true version. So for those of you all who watch it, there are 3 cuts of this movie.
I'm learning a lot today.
We watched the U.S. theatrical cut, which is 132 minutes.
On Amazon Prime.
Yes.
For rent.
I know, because
worth the rent.
Can I go?
Hold on 1 second. Worth the rent. $3.99. Okay? You get it for 48 hours. Watch it.
So on every...
And then...
piece of shit. So Apple TV, Fandango, Amazon, wherever you go to buy it, because I checked, you will get the U.S. theatrical release. If you enjoy the movie, which I'm thinking anybody who watches this will, you'll do what I did, and you will spend a bunch of money buying the Criterion Collection DVD that has the European full 142-minute cut that is paced a little bit differently. We won't really be talking about that one today because I haven't seen it, so I'm not going to speak on it, but I wanted to talk about there's also a third cut, the Scheinberg cut. So there's a whole documentary called The Battle for Brazil.
I'm looking for the name Scheinberg in this Wikipedia, and I don't initially see it, so please tell me who that is.
He was the head at the time of the Universal Studios.
Okay.
And Universal was responsible for the U.S. release.
Okay.
They made it. There's a documentary about this, but Terry Gilliam thought, okay, we're not going to have a problem because Fox released it in Europe without really trying to change anything. But Scheinberg was like, this is a little bit depressing for U.S. audiences. And he wanted to do a 90-minute
Yeah,
cut.
it was too real, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, too close to reality, huh?
If you need a happy ending and just want a bullshit movie that sucks, because I'm going to tell you, like, the message is lost in the 90-minute cut. It's just literally a love story that's bad, that has a bad message, that you just need to be a good little cog in the machine, and that's it. That's the whole point of the Scheinberg cut. What Terry Gilliam ended up doing was sending copies to people in Hollywood. And when, I can't remember what, it's in there, but there was an awards ceremony and Brazil won. And Out of Africa, which was Universal's movie that they were like, we need this movie to win awards, got nothing. So he undercut Universal Studios. And because of the win and all the pressure, and also Terry Gilliam took out a page in Vanity Fair, full page, and just in the center was "Play My Movie in Theaters." Terry Gilliam.
Nice.
Yeah, and then
that's hard as fuck.
That's
like, hard as
he fought for his work to be interpreted at the very least in a way that was like consistent with the message that he wanted to portray.
Yeah. So
One of the best films I've ever seen.
Honestly, this movie's very good. I had I had always heard of it, had not watched it.
Same.
But just for those of you who don't know what the we're talking about, Brazil is a 1985 dystopian science fiction black comedy film directed by Terry Gilliam and written by Gilliam, Charles McKeown, and Tom Stoppard. Co-production between the United Kingdom and the United States. The film stars Jonathan Pryce, breakout role, fantastic job.
Yeah.
Fantastic
You might recognize Jonathan Pryce. If you've seen Game of Thrones, he was the High Sparrow, the one that ended up with Cersei getting walked, going, shame, shame. That's his most recent, most famous role.
Oh, okay. So anyway, this is his breakout role. Fantastic fucking job. We got Robert De Niro, Catherine Hellman, Ian Holm, love him, Bob Hoskins, Michael Palin, Ian Richardson, Peter Vaughan. I hope I'm saying that right. And Kim Greist.
So a few cool things. Well, it's funny. The actress who played Jill,
Kim, right?
Kim. Yeah. Terry Gilliam did not like her performance. He cut like a few scenes with her out.
It felt like she was missing a lot.
So
I think I felt those probably like maybe 2 missing scenes that he probably didn't feel good about.
I feel like, at least with this cut, her absence really emphasized how delusional Sam was.
Yes.
Like
100%, like the whole, like, he reminded me of an internet stalker and like an influencer girl.
Yeah.
That's what he reminded me of.
Like, there's a disconnect from reality. This movie definitely discusses, like, one thing that I got from it was how, like, privilege just gives opportunities to, like,
the bureaucracy.
The whole bureaucracy of it. And I really felt like he was so insulated that he could not focus on anything except himself, and the dream sequences kind of helped bring him to reality.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get into more of that.
We'll talk about that, but
also, so Robert De Niro originally was going to play Michael Palin's role of Jack Lint, the torturer.
Oh, he was going to be Jack.
Yeah, he was going to be Jack, but Terry Gilliam owed Michael Palin a favor, and so he was like, he's like, hey, I want to be cast as and Michael Lint's a good actor. Don't get me wrong. He's great. He's great
fantastic,
in the role.
fantastic.
So it's
good job in the role.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those cases where it's like, hey, like I'm your friend. We've worked together. Can I be in this movie? And I would love to play this role. And Terry Gilliam's like, you know what? We're homies. Let's do it. And so he gave the role of Tuttle, who kind of serves as like he represents people who want to do the work and they just want to help, but they don't want to be fucking tied down by bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Tuttle, and he shadowed a neurosurgeon for this role because that's how he wanted to approach this man who's in and out. You know, it's there's a quote. He's like, I'm in it for the love of the game. He didn't say that, but like he wanted to get in on the action of it. Because
his whole character is that, and when we're first introduced to him and why he's like a weird guerrilla mechanic, weird guerrilla engineer,
very chaotic good.
Yeah, he's just like too much fucking paperwork. I just want to work.
Yeah, I just want to
fix shit. Like, so it there's that representation.
Oh, and so Terry Gilliam, important thing. Terry Gilliam's a weird guy, because I read a little bit into him, and a little bit problematic. Like, he at one point went out and said, I am a BLT, black lesbian transitioning.
Oh, I thought you meant like he's a bacon, lettuce, tomato sandwich.
Like he's kind of so it's weird because he renounced his U.S. citizenship and he's a UK citizenship. Like, he speaks out a lot against like bureaucracy and totalitarianism and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of it in the documentary about this movie, it's because he's dealt with a lot of bureaucracy and stuff like that. So he's kind of one of these people, especially with the Monty Pythons dealing with the censors. His behavior is indicative of someone who's overcorrected because they've dealt with something like real.
Yep.
And he's done incredible movies. I don't know if I know you've seen 12 Monkeys.
Not in a very long time.
Okay, 12 Monkeys is another. We'll get to it. It's a fantastic movie, but also Heath Ledger's final movie he written directed, The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus, which is a fascinating fantasy movie.
Did that come out after Dark Knight?
Yes, it was a posthumous release.
Wow, so long post production on that, huh?
Yeah, so they actually replaced Heath Ledger in certain like in the dream scenes because they cast him like in the regular world, but in the imagination world, they cast 3 of his friends. So it was Colin Farrell and 2 other actors. I think Robert Downey Jr. was another one of them, but it was people who were close to him. Tom Cruise tried to get in on it, I think, and they were like, "You didn't fucking know him like that. Fuck off." And it's a great movie, very fantastical. And this movie is, which is funny. So I cannot remember where I read it, but Terry Gilliam doesn't consider this a sci-fi movie.
I can tell also, and
Yeah.
and that's something that I wanted to talk about too. For me personally, while it has a lot of influence and undertones of science fiction and a lot of those like themes that we deal with a lot of the time, and yes, this takes place in a dystopian future where like the world is kind of shit and capitalism and bureaucracy and all that. I don't consider this a science fiction movie either.
Yeah, and
it's in a science fiction setting, I think, but like 100% this is a drama.
Yeah,
Like it's a black comedy, like it's a black comedy drama. Like this is a statement piece.
So
I want to say,
according to Gilliam, like the setting is just everywhere in the 20th century, like somewhere between Belfast and LA. Then that's supposed to encompass like the West. And to me, right, this is a subgenre. Oh, because like it's cyberpunk.
It's under the umbrella of science fiction. Under the hey, this is dystopian future. This is what we will be dealing with.
And because of the consumerism, and which the consumerism, like the Christmas gifts, man, to everybody, it kind of reminds me
the fact
of
that this takes place during Christmas, and then even like towards the end of the movie, we get that little scene like consumers for Christ.
Yeah,
like the little flag. I'm like, what the fuck was that?
Like it like a lot of it parallels our own world. Like Christmas is so commercial. Getting gifts is just a thing that you do, and not something like, hey, I thought of you. Here is a gift because you mean so much to me on this holiday that we're here.
Apparently, in Japan, by the way, like Christianity is a thing in Japan, but like especially the commercialization of Christmas is very prevalent in the East, because to them it's not religious; it is a capitalistic holiday.
Right.
It's just the way it is. At least when I was there. And they still celebrate and all that, but that it's the exact thing that you're talking about. It's like that's what it is. It's not. It is sacrilegious in ways.
And there's apparently a lot more emphasis on that in the European cut.
And I'm sure there is.
Yeah.
Like,
but I did think that was like, to me, like that consumer, obviously like rampant consumerism is tied to capitalism, but like also with the bureaucracy.
Yeah.
This is a cyberpunk movie to me, in the same way, kind of like similar to Strange Days, which this movie definitely, and Minority Report, you can feel echoes of.
Yeah, Minority Report for sure.
And this movie, so one thing that I was like, we have to talk about are the movies that this influenced. Like
hit me with the list.
So one of these, so there are a few movies that this influenced, and directors whose movies we'll watch later. So he inspired, and the actor for it is in here, Super Mario Bros. Not the recent CGI.
No, I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
In the scene where not John Leguizamo, the one who plays Mario.
No, I know, but
it's
his movie. I consider that his movie.
Fair.
He's the standout performance in that movie.
But anyway, the guy from Central Services, that's the same actor for Mario.
Mm-hmm.
It did inspire The Last Jedi. What was the name of the city in The Last Jedi? Was inspired by Brazil.
Talking about the casino planet that was filmed in Croatia.
Yeah, Rian Johnson said that Brazil was an inspiration.
Did you just call Rian Johnson?
Shut up.
Are you fucking serious? His name's Rian Johnson.
It's spelled with an I, so I thought
it's still fucking Ryan, bitch.
Okay, I thought.
Have you never heard his name said out loud?
No. Not that I remember.
Rian Johnson's Glass Onion. No, it's Rian Johnson.
Shit, I have heard it. I don't know why I said that. Let's not dwell on it.
I'm gonna dwell on it.
Shut the fuck up. Anyway, also, the setting, the aesthetic was researched heavily for Tim Burton's Batman.
Oh, absolutely. I can see that. Something I immediately picked up on that is like Yeah, this 100 feels like a Tim Burton. Like Tim Burton was inspired by
Yeah.
this.
It also inspired the Loki TV show, Dark City, which is on the list, and Delicatessen, which there's
Every time you say Dark City, I think of Wicked City, and
no, it's completely
kind of like
different.
those are two different
That
movies.
Dark City might be my next good movie. It's a really
Wicked City might be not my next good movie.
that would be interesting. So Delicatessen, one of the movies that's on my list is The City of Lost Children. That is, a lot of people put it as a fantasy movie, but it's like a science fiction. It's about a scientist stealing kids for their dreams. Like it's a very interesting movie. Ron Perlman in the lead, but the creators of it, Jean-Pierre Jeunet, I think. Yeah, Jean-Pierre Jeunet and Marc Caro, who also did Alien 4, did The City of Lost Children, and they dubbed this movie like the aesthetic and everything. They were like, this is a retro futurist movie, and I feel like the aesthetic is very. What was it described as? I know it's in the Wikipedia, and I think it was really good. It's like what the 1980s might look like from the perspective of someone from the 1940s. And I do love the way it looks. The settings, like some of it reminded me of when I was reading 1984.
It's literally right here.
Yeah.
It's
Which is funny. The funniest shit to me
is reminiscent of George Orwell's 1949
really
novel
is.
1984.
It's really funny because Terry Gilliam was like, yeah, we were going to call this 1984 and a half. But who was it? Michael Radford? Yeah, like, so the year before this was supposed to come out, somebody did a 1984 movie, which I still need to see. And so, because he was going to call it 1984 and a half.
That's funny.
And here's the thing. Terry Gilliam has not fucking read 1984. He admitted it himself. He's like, yeah, never read it. But wanted to do 1984 and a half. And also there's a reference, that form, the 27B/6 is a reference to George Orwell's flat that he had in London. But despite Terry Gilliam saying this is not a sci-fi movie, this is on so many must-watch sci-fi lists and just must-watch in general. Also, best cyberpunk movies. And to me, this was like this scratched an itch.
I could tell. Like I immediately knew that this was gonna scratch an itch for you. First of all, going into this blind, truly not understanding anything. It did reopen my brain to like it's almost like being back in school, kind of. Because recently with like my new coach and everything, I'm a student again, and I'm finally feeling like I'm back in that state of mind of like being a student in this particular aspect of my life. And that's what this felt like watching again. It's like, oh, I need to turn on my like that part of my brain that has to think and understand and analyze so that I can understand what's going on. Not that it made me feel dumb. Because I understood what was going on, and I'm like, okay, this is what this means. Okay, this.
So,
and like,
for me, it's like I felt dumb in the best way, like in the oh my god, there are layers.
Oh, that's so interesting. What does that mean?
Yeah, there are layers to this that I can't readily describe, which means like if I understand more, I'll enjoy it more, and that's why like I'm really enjoying, doing this as a creative outlet, because it's like not only is it fun watching the movies, right, but like going into them, like what went into their production and the decisions, the underlying themes, and even like the people who made them, and how they think is all kind of helping me appreciate the craft more. And God, just this fucking movie visually,
yeah. So let's just get into it because it's gonna take a while.
Yeah.
All right, so we open the first scene isn't even a scene. We're just opening on clouds and sunset, golden sun, and the sky is on fire, and then the camera moves down. We see Brazil neon sign. So
the theme song in the background, Aquarela do Brasil, which means watercolors in Brazil, is I didn't realize this at the time because this rendition's so different. This is one of my favorite Brazilian songs of all time. Personally, Gal Costa's version is fucking phenomenal. That's where I first heard this song. And that's where the title comes from, because this place is not supposed to be anywhere near Brazil. And the reason that he called this movie Brazil, I have a quote about something that he saw. Let me pull it up. So, so the reason why he picked this theme is he was talking about this place that he saw called Port Talbot, and he said Port Talbot is a steel town where everything is covered with gray iron ore dust. Even the beach is completely littered with dust. It's just black. The sun was setting, and it was quite beautiful. The contrast was extraordinary, and I had this image of a guy sitting there on this dingy beach with a portable radio, tuning in these strange Latin escapist songs like Brazil. The music transported him somehow and made his world less gray, and which is online with the whole theme of this movie of escapism.
Yeah, and delusion.
Yes, Jesus Christ, and delusion.
The amount of delusion. So anyway, we get that, and then it pans down, and we're looking at a TV, and it's an advertisement for the different kinds of air ducts you can get, because there are air ducts everywhere in this place, implying that the atmosphere is shit. Due to pollution and everything.
Not only that, but one of the things that I read, because I was trying to understand everything and like the ducks and stuff, is kind of like they're everywhere. So it's like the tendrils of totalitarianism.
Yes,
like
it's also that.
Yeah,
it's also that 100%. So the tubes they carry the air, the information, everything is in the tubes. So we're starting on an ad where it's like, hey, you can spruce up your tubes. Tired of your old tubes? We got new tubes, hundreds of colors of tubes. And then it changes, and it zooms out a bit. We get an interview of Helpman with somebody talking about the recent terrorist attacks that were happening. And this is also where we get to know that it's Christmas, because now we see Christmas decorations. And he keeps pulling out.
Also, what he's saying there, like one thing that stuck out that really kind of set the tone for me for these people, because he's
Do you want me to just straight up read it?
Well, just one part really stuck up to me was where he called terrorism unsportsmanlike.
Yeah, bad sportsmanship. That's what I was about to read.
Okay, yeah, that shit.
What do you believe is behind the recent increase in terrorist bombings? Bad sportsmanship. A ruthless minority of people seems to have forgotten certain good old-fashioned virtues. They just can't stand seeing other fellows win. If these people would just play the game instead of standing on the line, on the touch of the line, heckling. Like, so immediately his first statement is saying, if you just fucking fall in line, shit's fine.
And it really reminded me, there was a GOP senator who recently said that the people struggling with the increase in prices from everything, just get another job. Like just go out and get another
like people
job.
don't already have those.
Yeah, and it's like I hate this whole, like, it's not the system, it's you. You're
the problem.
And don't you dare resist against this. Just do your best to play the system and get to where we're at. It's that simple.
And so we're getting him basically saying propaganda.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, and this made me go, whoa. The store explodes. The storefront explodes. And it's
what an intro.
I literally said whoa out loud. Like, oh shit. I think I went, oh shit. So that's what we start on. And then the next scene is the setup of like the whole movie. It's a guy in the Ministry of Information doing his job. And he's trying to swat a fly, and while he swats the fly on the ceiling. And because the fly falls, like the little guts and stuff, it makes the machine make a mistake.
Yeah, it goes from archival, like it's in the T's, it goes from Tuttle to Buttle.
Yeah, it's like, hey, instead of all the information, it goes from a T to a B. So then we cut to Jill's room, and Jill is, relaxing and stuff. And then it's also downstairs, where we see a family enjoying Christmas Eve or whatever. And then all of a sudden, the fucking cops bust in. SWAT team. They fucking cut a hole through the top of their apartment, which is Jill's, which is why we get to see Jill and her freaking out. She's like, "What the fuck is going on?" And then they come in, they take Buttle in front of his family. Very traumatizing for them. They put him in a weird contraption thing that I was like, that's fucking crazy.
And
that straitjacket thing is insane, bro.
This scene really, like, this is where I like because that shit. First of all, especially with the terrible and fucked up
what's going on right now,
ice raids going on, like that, especially because they use a contraption like that for people where it like completely immobilizes you and stuff like that, and like just today, I mean, just the US
parallels.
In general, like,
there's a lot of parallels in this movie.
Clerical error is so real.
Yeah,
it is so real. And then making her sign the receipt.
Oh, bro, hey,
I was like, this is.
It was very real.
Yeah, it
was very real. And you know that's what happens.
And it did. I did get like 1984 vibes, especially from that. It did remind me of the scene where the main character in 1984. God, my memory recollection is so shit. Is in bed with someone like he's just so vulnerable, and then all of a sudden, like, you know, he gets ratted out, and then all these like guards come in to get him. Like, just that whole like overwhelming presence of like, oh hey, here's the end of your normalcy. Like, just felt very parallel to that.
Yeah. And then as the cops are leaving and stuff, you know, we're in Jill's apartment, and Jill's talking to the dudes who are trying to clean up, and she's just like, you know, she's trying to vouch for him, and they're like, no, we don't make mistakes. And then immediately we get the comedic gag that they make a mistake.
They must have switched to metric without us knowing.
Yeah, dude, that shit was so funny. So we get all that. And so now we get oh wait. Oh, okay. So we get into
dream sequence.
No. So interior records day pool, clerk's pool day. We get a close-up version of the pink slip that was stamped and impaled on the desk. And so we see the whole like process of that receipt and thing,
right,
and what happens and all that. And it's all supervised by Kurtzman. And and then when Kurtzman walks back into the room, you see immediately everybody stop doing their jobs.
Yeah, I love that.
They just start watching TV. All of them. Nobody moves a muscle.
And that too really reminded me of how, like, you know, we have these like oppressive jobs and stuff like that, or at least, you know, a lot of people do, and you're not paid enough, and so when the boss is away, you find ways to like make work a little bit better. And like for me, like seeing them watching like a movie, you know, kind of echoed like today, like, you know, a lot of people are placated, like, yeah, the world's falling apart, but dude, Avengers Doomsday is coming out at the end of the year. We've got, you know, Spider-Man in July.
I was about to say, why was that the first one? I could not be less excited for a movie.
Well, it's a big deal to a lot of people. That's why I used that one specific. Like the MCU in general, that's the kind of like when I think the placation of the masses, I kind of feel, and I like the MCU for the most part. But you know, it's,
you know what my litmus test for like the masses is? Does my sister want to watch that?
Really?
My sister is the most, and I know she's gonna watch this, and I'm very sorry, Alexandra. My sister's a consumer, like the most general consumer I can possibly think is. She is my litmus test for things. She's my litmus test for attention spans of a normal consumer, for what they think is trending,
okay,
and what's going on. Like, she is a basic, in the nice way, person. Like, she's a little younger than you. She's between her age, so she's a 90s kid. Likes Friends, listens to like general pop music. Like, she is a normie consumer. Okay. And so, like, my litmus test for what they get and all that is her. And now I've completely forgotten why I brought that up.
Because I'm talking about the MCU being
okay. So yes, so her excitement over things, or like if something is releasing and it's on her radar, that's how I know something is like popular to the people in general.
Okay, I get you.
So her also losing interest in the MCU and being tired of it all. And also, well, she has some ideas too. But yeah, she's my litmus test. But anyway, back to this. It's like, yes, back to what you were saying.
Yeah, it just feels like, like that's how everyone kind of is why everyone's okay with kind of like that kind of breakneck environment at a constant like you have to be doing something.
Like, bro, I gotta make it the brand new day.
Yeah,
I gotta
dude,
make
like,
it the brand new day.
and I hate because we're all guilty of it. Like
I got it.
and it's one of those things like we all want to do better and we all want to get out of the situation, but each of us has a weakness for certain things that pull our focus.
We all have a vice,
and we have to like. I think that's part of what we all have to kind of understand, especially when we see art like this that makes us reflect. Like, what is stopping us from engaging in collectivism and being together? What are the things that like?
What's distracting us from all that?
Exactly.
So we get that, and then Kurtzman goes in, and then screen flicks on, and then he's processing Buttle, and because it's an error, he starts freaking the fuck out.
Yeah.
So he starts calling in Lowry, which is Sam, and he's not answering. He's like, "Where the hell is Lowry?" And that's where we get the dream sequence.
Yes, which immediately I'm like,
what the fuck is going on?
I watched all the trailers, so I like knew this was a part of the movie. But I'm looking at him, I'm thinking, Icarus, is this like a? And this is mostly where I'm like, I'm trying to get the symbolism, but I'm also like,
No, I quite literally clocked it immediately. I'm like, okay, he's flying in a dream. He wants freedom. That's what that means.
I got distracted by Icarus flying too close from the sun, which one can argue later in the movie as everything escalates.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, 100%. So like, it's that. But I think I was like trying to focus too hard at the movie because I'm like,
okay, he wants to be free. He feels locked away. I'm like, okay, that's what flying usually means in dreams and symbolism and anything. Flying normally represents freedom of some kind.
Oh, also at this point, like this movie is fucking beautiful.
This movie's fucking weird.
It
in
is
a good way.
Yeah, in
it
the
looks
best way.
Fucking weird.
It's unique. You could tell like this is somebody who's like I'm fucking. Well, he was doing the movie. He wanted to do this after Monty Python, but that studio.
Which Monty Python?
I think after the Holy Grail.
Okay.
And that success, he wanted the studio to help him fund to do Brazil, but they said no. But then he did Time Bandits, which allegedly Brazil is the second. It's he said that he was being pretentious when he said this, but some people are like, no, this does thematically fit. Like Time Bandits is like people into escapism and whimsy in three different periods of their life. Like Time Bandits is like through the lens of a child, Brazil is through the lens of a man, and then The Adventures of Baron Munchausen is reclaiming imagination at the end of life. I haven't seen Time Bandits or Baron Munchausen. I want to because visually they're similar to Brazil. But yeah.
Something that I want to point out here in the script. So we get Sam flying in his dress. A man wearing strange wood and metal bird wings. In a bright sunshine, their flapping movements create brilliant flashing effect. Along with the wings, Sam Lowry, for this is who is he, wears an outfit that combines the best of Flash Gordon and a World War I fighter pilot.
I like that.
I liked that description. And that's when we get, he's flying, and we hear Jill, we learn, calling out to him. It took me so fucking long to realize that Jill and the lady in the dreams are the same woman because of the hair.
That's fair.
The hair changes her look so much that I could not tell for it.
The way she carries herself too is,
Well, I mean, she's a different character.
Yeah, right, exactly. So that to me, like, I totally get where you're coming from.
Yeah, like I could not tell that. Like it didn't click till he literally said it out loud. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like this. Okay, and I didn't catch that. This makes more sense.
The trailers gave that away for me, so I can't say that I.
Oh, okay. And so she's calling out to him, and we get camera pulls away as the soft building materials edulate her. It rises and falls. The waves carry the wind. Camera glides back through a sea of gossamer. We could see that the girl is being held aloft by and inside it. She's in like a vessel. A vast landscape stretches below her. The sun. Oh, she's in like a big orb thingy.
Yeah.
By jig, and they're engaged in a beautiful aerial ballet, and then the romantic music fills the soundtrack. Sam swoops away, and the girl floats in the distance. It's Sam. Rises at the foreground. She beckons to him. Sam brings to flap back towards her, but then dreamly quality of the scene is interrupted by the threatening rumble. Sam looks down. The ground far below suddenly erupts as a massive monolithic stone skyscraper bursts through the surface, soars upward through the mighty rush. So cut to the girl in the long shot. Monolith rises up into the frame, partially cutting her from view. Before Sam could do anything, another skyscraper breaks through. So now we're getting like all these things popping up, which is like the whole capitalism shit. And there's nothing Sam could do. The girl is being cut from him by these gigantic faceless structures, and then she's finally lost from view somewhere in the depths of the metropolis. Sam lies closer. The stone skyscrapers appear to be solid. No windows, no doors, nothing whatsoever to interfere with their clean, harsh, rectangular design. As he flies among the towers, blocks sees no sign of the girl, only sheer walls rising above him. Below him, the walls plummet vertiginously into darkish streets. No sound, but the creaking flapping of his wings can be heard.
Yeah, it turns into like just an oppressive cityscape, uniform. I mean, and kind of like a labyrinth at the same time too.
And then we cut to him waking up. Oh wait, no.
Yeah, he gets a phone call, and he's.
This is we. Oh no. We're still in the dream. We're still in the dream.
Oh, we're still in the dream. Is this the part where she ends up in the cage?
Yeah, we're still in the dream. Okay. So we cut to a low angle shot of the procession making its way past the camera. Black robed and cowled, the sinister figures look like a heavenly armed monks, and these are the forces of darkness. Together, they are straining at several heavy hawsers that rise in the air, long arms, and we get a metal cage, and then Jill's in the cage. Or the girl, we don't know, she's Jill. All right, and then we cut to Sam as he dives out of shot. Cut to the forces of darkness suddenly stopping in their tracks. They've seen something. Their POV. It's a lot of camera stuff going on. They're at the end of the passage between the two stone skyscrapers. Stands Sam bearing the way, and then swords being unsheathed, the cowls being thrown back. Underneath are rotting, broken doll faces, like baby doll faces.
Yeah, I remember that was like really creepy, like all these baby-faced people, which does serve a purpose later. Which I think that's like a big part of this movie. You know, like you have this like, you know, at first you have this whimsy, and then he's like, you know, in a confined area, while his love interest is caged, and then you see these baby-faced ghouls kind of dragging her along. And at what point does he wake her up, or does he wake up?
We're still getting there. So, you know, they start brandishing weapons and stuff. He folds his wings in. Suddenly, Sam releases a terrifying scream and charges the horde unarmed. So they go to Sam skillfully, you know, he's dodging the swords and stuff, leading field karate chops. At the time, catching a sword, he falls, spinning around. He's fighting. Back at the cage. And what the fuck? The pile of black robed bodies grows with each swing of Sam's sword. Wham, bam, slide. The Sam cars through and suddenly they're all dead, but a heap of blackness commemorates Sam's prowess. The girl is beaming at Sam, making his way towards the hawsers holding the cage, but then a noise behind him, and then behind him black shapes begin to rise. The robes come mass flapping black cloth, and the evil churning cloud colossus and lifts off the ground. The horrible flapping apparition emits a terrifying mechanical laughter as it flies away. Sam is about to rush after it, and it halts to his state, but is stopped by the sound of his telephone. He wakes up confused. So we get Sam.
Yeah.
So we get the dream of our introduction to Sam's character without, like, actually introducing us to Sam. Sam is obviously a man seeking freedom in his claustrophobic capitalistic society.
Yeah. Which is, you know, escaping into delusion and unreality is kind of a huge thematic element. And also, like, here when, you know, we have him like wake up, like, what do you mean I'm late? And then the hitting of the phone to realize it's way past when he should have, you know, woken up because you know,
his power went out
and nothing. Yeah, like
that was something out of his control happened. And so we get that.
And I feel like here we really get like that view of like, yes, we're in a, you know, especially back then, we're in a futuristic setting, and shit still doesn't work.
It's the same.
And then we're transported to the bureaucratic
the Ministry of
dystopia.
Yeah.
Which so at this point, I wrote it down, like, I don't know if you ever saw the old What If Tex Avery cartoons, where they kind of showed in the 1950s like their idea of what the future would look like, but it's kind of in an absurdist, like, Looney Tunes way. I know they had this one card. It's like, and
it's like watching the Jetsons.
Yeah. And it's like, what if we, like, this car has a seat for your mother-in-law, and then it just shows like a fucking trailing thing way behind the car.
Yeah, that kind of joke.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. Like, the aesthetic of this world reminds me of those cartoons, and I really appreciated that. Like, it was whimsical, it was interesting, and it was like the absurdism works so well in this movie.
Yes,
and
everything is exaggerated to the point that it works.
Yeah.
And so we get him walking into work. He's going through security. He runs into a buddy, Jack. They start conversing, kind of small talking. Jack's, kind of giving him shit for still working in the department where they started together.
Yeah, and this really solidified that conversation where he's like, "Why don't you want to move up? Come over to where we're at." He's like, "No, ooh, that sounds like a lot, getting noticed." I'm like, so this is a man who wants freedom but lacks ambition. Was like how I felt. Like, this is a guy who's like,
he said he was happy where he was, but at the same time is not.
Yeah.
And that's also where we get to see, like, a glimpse in the back. Jill is now at the ministry trying to handle the buttle shit. She's like, "Yo, I'm trying to handle this for my neighbor." He clocks that, and he's like, "Oh my god, woman from my dreams."
Yes.
And Jack notices that he's distracted and all that kind of stuff. But they go, and then we cut to Jill over there, wrongful arrest, all that other shit, and now we're just reminded of, like, DMV bullshit, more bureaucratic paperwork bullshit that only serves to make accessibility hard and to make people money that we don't need.
And it's funny, like, this bureaucratic nonsense actually inspired that episode of Futurama where Hermes got his job back, I think it was called, where he's trying to file all these different forms and all these pneumatic tubes. Like, that was inspired by Brazil. And I also, like, there's a scene in Brooklyn Nine-Nine that's exactly this. Like, well, if I need this form, then I need that, and I have to go back and forth and all this stuff. And I really enjoyed that because it's like a lot of things in this movie are very relevant, very
there's a lot of parallels.
Yeah, they're very parallel to our current state of being.
So we get that. She leaves in a huff. And then we get Sam with Kurtzman. He fixes it. And he's like, I don't know what I would ever do without you. And he's like, oh, I'd always rejected a promotion. He's like, you sure?
Oh, the way he's like, oh, this must be my bitch mother. Like, I was like, okay, well, damn. Like,
yeah, and we get that whole introduction.
It also reminded me of, like, how, like, you often have people in lower positions doing the work that their boss should do because their boss somehow made it in that position, but they don't know what they're doing.
That is this guy.
Yeah, that is like
this
definition.
Guy.
Interesting to see Ian Holm in this role after seeing him
after watching Alien.
Yeah.
And then we cut to Sam talking to his mom. Why the fuck would you do that? And we're in her doctor's office. It's a cosmetic doctor. He's doing plastic surgery and shit because she's one of those bureaucratic ladies who's always got to be looking younger and younger and younger. So she's, complaining to him. She's like, why won't you take these opportunities that we're giving you so you can advance and move yourself? And he's, he's being himself. He's like, no, I'm happy where I am, even though he's clearly not. I think he doesn't want the assistance. He doesn't want the nepotism. He would like to do things for himself. And we get that kind of introduction to him, that he was handed things and he doesn't like being handed things.
See, and I took it a little differently, that this is someone who just wants to be comfortable. And for them, this is that. That's why there's no need for, ambition. And he's so, and this more so later, but there's a disconnect between him and the reality of everything going around, because he's fixing these paperwork issues and not understanding, like, even the way that they talk about, like, oh, we've never made this error and stuff like that. Like, this is a man who was incorrectly killed. This is a severe matter, and yet he's just like blatantly like, oh, we'll figure it out, I'll sign it, because he's also thinking I think this is the part where he realizes he can get closer to.
No.
Oh no, that was. I know he knows by the time he goes.
So he complains to his mother, and then, she's like, "We'll talk about this at lunch." They go to lunch, and this is where we get the lunch scene. We're introduced to his mother's friend and the mother's friend's daughter.
Who they're trying to set him up with.
Yes, who they would like to be set up with. And so we get this whole scene of their relationship, essentially, of Sam trying to have a conversation with his mother, him being stonewalled constantly, not just by his mother, but like literally everybody around him. And we get to see that kind of frustration come out of him.
Yeah, especially with the waiter, who the waiter was weird because he's like, I heard this one's the best today to one person, and then like to Sam.
Yeah. To the mother's friend, he's like, the number 2 is so good today. And then to her daughter, he's like, the number 1 is so good today. And then Sam's mom's like, I'm going to have the number 8 because I'm a fatty, like always. She says that. And then Sam is refusing the system, even in the restaurant. He's defiant. He's like, yeah, I'd like to order this. He doesn't say the number, but the waiter is just like,
please say the number.
Bureaucracy.
Yeah.
You have to do the right way. You have to say the number. And he's like kind of losing it.
Yeah, he's very like, no, there's a certain order of things. And even, especially when they get the food, it's this slop with a picture of what it's supposed to be. And it's like, it's kind of how like sometimes capitalism promises you certain things, but it is the illusion of choice. And in reality, you're getting shit.
Yep. That is definitely what I felt in that.
Yeah.
Of like, oh, this is what we're getting.
And it was so interesting. And then we have the bomb.
And then another terrorist attack happens. A fucking bomb goes off in the kitchen. And unless you were hit by that bomb, no one in the restaurant gives a fuck. Terrorist attacks are such a regular fucking thing in this society that they just keep fucking going. Like his mother and the friend and the daughter literally just keep going. But Sam's like, what the fuck? This isn't rare. Like, there's a bomb. He complains about his food.
Yeah. And this also further showed that he is a very insulated individual. And I also felt this echoed, how a lot of people are numb to like school shootings. And it's like, like this is a big deal. Like, you should have a bigger reaction to that. But they're just sitting here. And one scene that caught me off guard, I did not understand thematically, that was interesting, was that like as soon as the band starts playing, they ignore everything. Magila Hava comes on. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah.
The song that like,
the Jewish wedding song, I think
the Jewish wedding song.
Is.
And to me, I'm like, okay, like this movie is like anti capitalism and, talks about escapism, but also like, there are critiques of totalitarianism in there as well.
Oh, yeah.
And then, because Israel associates itself with that, I'm wondering, like, was this him putting a message in? Was it too soon where people were not as aware as they are now? Or was he one of the people who were ringing the alarm early? And it was just an interesting choice to me that song played right after a terrorist attack.
And you told me that. I'm like, no, I swear to God, Brazil played like right after that. Just because Brazil is like thematically throughout the movie. So I'm just like, no, I could have sworn they just started playing Brazil. But I didn't pick up on that the first time. But yeah, I wonder if that was like an intentional choice, because it doesn't say it here in the script that like
that's the song that plays.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I'm lost on that, and it's interesting because this movie is actually it's a favorite of a lot of people in the US on the far right, which I'm confused by. So like that, to me, that's something that like, we'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments, because for the life of me, can't figure out how that fits in, or what the message there was, or if it was just a random throwaway,
Mm-hmm. And then, they continue arguing throughout the conversation about how he doesn't want to be promoted, about how he doesn't want this. And
I just got the vibe that he fears growth, and he wants to dwell in his like he's very complacent where he's at, and he doesn't want his mother interfering. Like I never got the vibe, and maybe this is just me, and I'm definitely subject to misinterpreting things, but like I never felt like he's like, no, I want to earn it by my own merit. Like I never felt that this was someone who sought to prove themselves. It's more like he doesn't want to be bothered.
Well, yeah, because even as he's leaving and he's upset, his mother is like, "You haven't had dessert." He's like, "I'm sorry, I don't want dessert. I don't want a promotion. I don't want anything." Don't be childish, Samuel.
Don't
Of
you
course
have
you
dream-
want something. You must have hopes, wishes, dreams. And he shouts loudly, "No, nothing, not even dreams." So, like, yeah, it is really establishing that Sam himself, like, does not have that ambition. He does not have that drive to, like, grow or change. It is the complacency of, like, he wants change, but at the same time, like, does not want anything else thrust upon him.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of people, I know myself at one point was like, I am content to just coast by and escape into my fantasies. You remember I was playing like video games like 10 hours a day minimum, and just not dealing with my shit. And I feel like a lot of people, when they feel hopeless, they do that. And Sam's kind of that.
Yeah. And so we cut to a dream. Sam, as his dream self, rises into the shot, wings straining as he tows the floating cage, imprisoning the girl. They're rising up and away, monolithic skyscrapers. He says he's gonna take her somewhere safe. Eyeball is scanning the sky, pulling back. We see it's from but one of thousands, tightly packed side by side. Whoa, this is cut from the American version. What the fuck? We do not see a weird eye being.
Oh shit, I thought that was the American script specifically because it doesn't have many references to Santa, which is in the European cut.
Yeah, we don't get this in the American one. That's crazy.
The next scene I have it written down.
I think they cut parts of the dream.
Yeah. Because the next thing I wrote down was Robert De Niro's intro.
Yeah. So interior night, Sam grappling with his bedclothes, dripping sweat, screaming because he was the dream. Yeah, they just cut up the dream sequence a little differently for the American version.
Yeah, the dream sequences were meant to be a lot more, like stitched together. Like I know one they cut into like 3 parts.
Yeah,
and scattered it.
Anyway, the woman is taken away. Sam is in bed. He's dripping sweat, screaming. Thermostat's 99. So Sam gets on the phone to call the central services, who's in charge of everything. It's automated. He says it's an emergency. It's automated. And frustrated and upset, he hangs up because there's no like service for that.
Yeah, and one thing I want to notice is like it's saying this is not recorded because that does come into play later. When he's calling them and they're like, it's an emergency, like we can't do anything, and then he gets a knock, if I remember correctly, and is greeted at the door with a...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for calling Central... Did temporary staff short of Central Services cannot take service calls centrally between 2,300 and 900 hours. Have a nice day. This has not been a recording incident. This has not been a recording incident. This is an emergency. Thank you for calling. And then, yeah, it's really interesting how that's not a recording. That is a person.
Or so it says.
Or so it said.
Yeah.
Just like literally whenever you call, say this or punch it. It's like, I'm going to punch it in because y'all don't understand jack shit.
Dude, honestly, I kind of hate automated services like a lot. Just pay people.
Mm-hmm. And so Sam sits in front of the refrigerator and he slumps in, falls asleep. Exterior darkness. Milky white spheres tumble everywhere, but they're not onions. They're giant eyeballs hurtling through space. I don't remember this. Sam clinging desperately to one. He grabs the pupil for a better handhold and opens it like a hatch cover. What the fuck?
Yeah, dude, you're reading from the European.
This is European.
Oh, he falls. I remember.
Jolly gent, who the fuck are you?
Yeah, that's Santa. So yeah, we're reading the European cut. Sorry guys.
What the fuck is this, bro?
Why do you think I bought? And to get it here quick because I'm anxious. Yeah, I spent like $70 to get the European cut, and I have it. We'll watch it. Not for the watch along, guys. You're gonna have to get that one. You can't get it unless you buy it. So that's why we're doing the US cut. So the next scene, I think he goes to bed in his fridge, and then he's awoken by a knock on the door, and then he has a gun in his face.
No. It's a phone call.
Oh yeah, he gets the phone call.
He
and
picks up
then-
the phone,
Yeah,
and
you
then
go.
he's like, Mr. Riley. He's like, yeah. The kitchen door. He's like, hey, put your hands, put the phone down, put your hands up, and then that's when he turns around. He realizes there's a gun to him. And Tuttle's the one on the phone with him, and he scopes it out. Tuttle introduces himself, and explains how he is essentially a guerrilla engineer, and how he tapped in and heard about his emergency, about how he hates the bureaucracy of all the paperwork, about how all of it gets in the way of helping people, about all of this. And then there's a knock on the door. Central Services shows up, like randomly, even though they said they weren't going to show up.
And we get Mario from Super Mario Bros.
We get Mario from Super Mario Brothers.
I love how Robert De Niro's just like there with a gun, and Sam's like, "Hold on, let me get rid of him." And that's where we get the scene where they're trying to go in, and
he gets him with the bureaucracy because he clocks. He's like, oh, because he was talking about this paper, and then he mentions the specific form that Tuttle was talking about that they don't have.
26 Stroke B, which is a reference to George Orwell's flat in London. And one of the engineers starts like convulsing.
He starts crashing out.
Yeah, because of that. And meanwhile, like the door's open. They're just not looking that way because they're so frightened by having to like fill out this form. And you just see Tuttle in the background with a gun pointed, like ready to shoot them if they try to like do anything or interfere. And I really love Tuttle's character because like he's not asking for money. He's not asking for anything. He's going to help because he wants to do this. And for me, right, this is like, I do believe, right, if we didn't have capitalism, people would still be doing stuff. People would still be going out there. There would be a guy who's like, dude, I love fixing ACs. I love fixing HVACs out there fixing, because there are people who genuinely want to help. And I felt like Robert De Niro's character was representative of that. And also people who just like to stick it to the man.
Yeah.
Also the way he like slid away and into the city was fucking awesome. Like that looked really cool.
So then we're back at work. They had a refund for Buttle's check. They basically, it's like, hey, here's your compensation for us like mistakenly killing your husband, but they can't give it to her, right? So Sam volunteers himself. He's like, hey, I'll go do it. He's like, I will handle this. So he personally goes, and he goes over there to where Buttle lives. We get the little tiny car.
Is based on a real. There is a real car like that.
There is a little car like that,
which is real cool.
Yeah.
And at this point, if I'm not mistaken, and guys, I'm sorry, my memory recollection. There's a lot of stuff I'm looking up right now, not only for this but for other stuff. So, if I'm remembering correctly, he knows that Jill's around there because he's looked into her. So he does know, I think, that her apartment is nearby, and that's why he enthusiastically accepts.
Nope.
Are you sure?
Nope.
You just watched it. Yes, you're
I
sure.
literally just watched it.
Okay.
He does it out of his boss freaking out and him doing the thing.
Also, yeah, and this part, Buttle's death in custody. That also, like,
Oh
with
yeah,
everything
we'll
going
get to
on with
that.
Ice,
Yeah.
really, that. to
Can
me,
you just wait till I get to the scene
Sorry,
where
my
his
bad, my
wife
bad.
screams about it?
Yes.
Fucker. So anyway, he pulls up to the slums, and that's what we're like shown this to be. Like, we've seen where the bureaucrats live, we've seen where the middle class live, and this is like the working class down here. So we get that, and he's asking the local kids. The local kids tell him to fuck off, and so he goes, and what the fuck? Yep. Okay, so he walks into Buttle's apartment. He can't find anybody. He finds her like just sitting there looking out a window. She's very unresponsive to Sam saying why he's there. She cuts him off. um, you know, because he's like, hey, mistake.
Yeah,
Oh, a mistake.
She's got the 1,000-yard stare.
Oh yeah, she starts crashing the fuck out. Her son comes in and tackles Sam. Because she wants to bury her husband. And she's like, where the fuck is the body? And he's like, it's not my department.
And
It's
I
not my
think
department. Not my department.
for me, what really fucked me up on this scene was his nonchalant attitude when he's talking to her. Like, this woman clearly has a look of despair in the 1,000-yard stare. She's looking up, and this is just a parallel for like state violence towards families and the impact that it has. Because this woman lost her husband, and she's left to deal with this nightmare, and like now she's getting like a refund, like a little bit of compensation, and that's no replacement for her husband. And imagine having to deal with that, and then you have this bureaucrat walking in like, "Who, I can't help you. That's not my department." Also, oh, I see they got the wrong size for the hole in the ceiling, and there's a lot of scenes in this movie, this one in particular, which really solidify like this guy does not fucking understand what's going on around him. Like he
really
doesn't
doesn't.
understand the reality.
He's caught in delusion. And that's when Jill like peeks her head through to check on her neighbor, and that's when he sees her. And he loses her. He doesn't get her. But the local kids, one of the girls, she's like, "Oh, that's Jill," and he lets her know who it is.
When they trash his car.
Oh yeah, his car explodes. They exploded his car, and that is just, and it's still able to drive. Or no, he's not able to drive it.
Yeah, and I also really like the way that this movie oscillates in tone.
Mm-hmm.
It goes from
Consistently.
like, yeah, this is really absurd. This is really like, this is hyperbolic as fuck. And then shit gets real and dark and like heavy. And I'm really enjoying the way the movie did it. Was very good.
Mm-hmm. We get back to, the office. Kurtzman's like, "Hey, you heard anything about the missing thing, the transporter he was just using?" He's like, "What? No." Anyway, do the paperwork about that. And then it's all right. What about bottle? Delivered it. Yep. And that's when Sam is trying to get more information on Jill, but is bumped by classifications and access to things. And then that's when he's like, "Well, I'll just be promoted." He's like, "Oh, okay, I'll go in the system now." This is like kind of his awakening moment of like, "Oh, I have the tools."
Yeah, and
this is one of those moments. And then
this bothered me.
Oh yeah, his boss turned down the promotion for him. He's like, "Oh, well, I didn't sign it yet." He's like, "I did it for you."
Yeah, and the reason this bothered me wasn't like anything to do with the writing or anything. It was I do love in a story when love inspires ambition and a desire for growth, but the way that it's in here is he doesn't fucking know this woman. He has no idea who she is. She is just a fantasy that he is pursuing to him. And it's not growth for the sake of like personal development. It's literally a means to an end to find someone and try to achieve this
weird delusion
fantasy
that you have.
Yeah, and to me that was it was just like how a lot of people like date people because they have a perception of them and don't understand who that person was. But it's very well done.
Yeah, this is and so they get upset, and we get interior transport gate evening packed tightly with other passengers. Oh yeah, it's Sam going home.
Oh, that cube train.
The
was
cube
actually
train
pretty cool.
scene. And then Sam is back in his apartment, and that's when the workmen are back, and he's like, "What the fuck? Emergency procedures. We got the paperwork. Sign here." And then that's when they discover that what Tuttle did.
Yeah.
And they're just like, "Yo, who the fuck was in here?" And he's like, "No one. They fixed themselves." And he's like, "Oh, they fixed themselves, huh? Okay." Breaks it again. Now they'll fix themselves.
Yeah, they just fuck up his apartment, which I was like, what the fuck? Like, that part fucked me up. That part pissed me off because it's just like, you know, somebody needs help and somebody else gets to them in time.
Yeah.
Because you guys have to deal with all this bullshit instead of just helping the person, which is supposed to be your purpose. And then when you find that out, you dick him over because what? Because what? Like, you know, I didn't really get a lot of the themes there. I just got kind of pissed off. Like, I mean, I guess how bureaucracy sometimes hinders more than it. Yeah.
And then we get another dream sequence that is not in the American version. Because Kurtzman's in the dream saying that something is a trap.
Yeah, I know that we do have a dream sequence.
There's a
here.
dream sequence.
It's the part with where the samurai appears.
Yes, we're introduced to the samurai, which is representative of the whole bureaucracy and system and all that, that he is now fighting.
Yeah.
So we get that. We get introduced to that. And how whenever he does try to strike it, it suddenly disappears.
Did you notice that the armor is like a bunch of computer parts and stuff?
Mm-hmm. I did notice that. I thought that was really cool.
I didn't notice that until I went back and looked. Like I said, if you watch this movie and you feel
you
like
got to really pay attention.
Yeah, which is the best part about it. Like, it's so rich and voluminous.
So we're introduced to the whole dream sequence that represents, like, Sam is going to start fighting the patriarchy. Or not the patriarchy, sorry. Totalitarianism.
And this part, like, I was trying to figure out, like, was pursuing love, you know, thematically, like, because I'm seeing Icarus every time. So I'm like, is this him, you know, flying too close to the sun? Is this him ascending to the sun and pursuing this? And is, like, you know, the people pulling Jill down, is that representative of the system? Is it representative of reality? Because, like, this is, like, he's starting to see more.
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah, and it's a little dense, and I'm just kind of like,
yeah.
What does it all mean?
And then, you know, he wakes up to the door, and then we get a singing telegram inviting him to his mother's.
That was interesting.
That was a very interesting thing. Inviting him to his mother's party, celebrating her new cosmetic surgery to show it off. I like the bit. She's like, it's pay by return.
Yeah.
And then he starts singing his response, and she's like, you don't have to sing your response.
Dude, yeah, like, it was
that shit was so funny.
It was off-putting, but in a very funny way.
It was so funny.
And I really liked that.
So we get to his mother's house because he realizes, oh, I can go talk to the bureaucrats. I can get that promotion.
Yeah.
So he goes over there, immediately, like, met by security, and they're just like, what the fuck are you doing here? What the fuck are you doing here? Where's your invitation, bro? Where is it?
Dude.
Where the fuck? And he, like, that's his mom's place. He just
Yeah.
walked into his mom's place, and they're just like, who the fuck are you, bro?
Dude, yeah, that was abrupt.
And he's like, Mom! Anyway, it was really, really funny. And, so he goes, and, you know, they do a little bureaucratic shit. You know, we meet a couple of the other doctors. And that's when we get, Jack's there, too. Jack's at the party, because he's a bureaucrat, and he's trying to schmooze. He's there with the wife and the triplets. And then the guy who he wants to talk to shows up, and he starts talking to Jack because he knows Jack. He's like, oh, this is your wife, Barbara. He's like, and she starts correcting him because that's not his fucking name. And the husband goes, yeah, Barbara. Yeah, like, just, it's one of those, I will do whatever I can to get ahead. Like, I will schmooze. I will do, it's the bureaucracy shit.
Yeah.
To the point where I think he just straight up changed his wife's name to Barbara. He's just started calling her Barbara. Like, at the end of that scene, too. He's like, come on, Barbara. And so that's when they start talking. They pull aside. He's like, yeah, I was close to your dad. You know. And, yeah, I'd like the promotion, blah, blah, blah. He helps him out in the bathroom. And that's when they're talking about the promotion and stuff and how he knew his father. That scene, if you've ever...
That was jarring.
I've had to do that.
Yeah, but it was, like, to me, like, I just didn't expect that. Like, so it was...
For those of you that don't know, the character that he's talking to in a wheelchair, it cuts to him helping him stand at a urinal. He's literally holding him up while he does his shit. And as somebody with old grandparents who I've had to be caretaker for, you know, small bursts of time, I've had to do that. It's really sad.
It is.
It's sad when it's somebody you care about.
And yeah, and the way that I took this scene was he has an end goal and he's willing to show.
Yes, he is
like,
doing
yeah.
what he needs to do now. Like, he is pursuing his goal, as stupid and as weird as it is.
Yeah, like there's no like normally that's a very great thing to do. You're helping someone who needs the help, but obviously that's tainted. He is only doing it to
He's
get
doing
ahead.
it to
He's
get ahead.
Sincere.
Yeah. So he accepts the job, and then we get to the lobby of his new building, but there's no security.
I do want to say, like right before we cut to there, you know, there's a scene where he glimpses one of those people, like veiled people, and it's Miss Buttle, and that's where we're starting to see the fantasy.
No, not yet. Oh, that was that was in the party. Yeah.
Yeah, in the party scene.
In the party when he was talking to somebody in the mirror, he does see Buttle, and he's starting to feel that sense of dread and guilt.
Like delusion and reality are now
starting to
blend.
Yeah, they're starting to blend together. And we get to the new office, and there's like no security shit. There's one guy. He's like, "You're not gonna check my ID or anything." He's like, "Dude, you couldn't get here.
Yeah.
If you weren't who you said you were."
And with that attitude and the liminal aesthetic, you know, I'm just, you know, for me, like immediately I think Big Brother, but then there I'm like, this is the future that, you know, we could possibly get from companies like Palantir and Flock. And it was unsettling.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like, no, we watched you from your apartment. We know who you are.
We know who you are.
We watched you walk over here.
Yeah.
Like that shit, insane. So he reports to his new thing, and that's when we get to see on his new floor, like, it's completely empty. It's just dudes following around his new boss, just, like, and him giving orders, asking for shit, and da-da-da-da-da-da. And he shows him to his new office, which is a half office with a wall down the middle, with literally the desk in between the wall that they have to share, and they pull it back and forth. And
that was a good bit. That shit got me. I thought that was really fucking hilarious.
Gives him his new little badge.
There's a poster on the wall that really stood out to me.
Yes, there are a few posters that are consistently seen throughout this movie, and I can't remember exactly what they say, but they're very much like the kind of propaganda posters, like the Obey. Yeah. Like, it's like that shit.
And one of them, I wrote it down because I was like, whoa, don't suspect a friend, report them.
Yeah, don't suspect a friend, report
like,
them.
No, you don't trust anybody. Like, it creates this, like, antagonistic, competitive, like, they're anti-collaboration. Everyone needs to be on guard all the time on their best behavior. And if you see something, don't just fucking think, just report them, whatever.
Yeah,
they'll get interrogated, you know?
He goes and meets his neighbor, and, he tries to get his computer because he wants to use it. And
yeah, he's trying to he's trying to use it to get more information about Jill, because now that he's there
and has clearance for shit,
he can't. And when, you know, when I see that guy trying to use the computer, which Sam can use, and that they're both in the split office, and then you see like a bunch of people walking together with the main boss down like all these halls, it made me feel like maybe this was supposed to be representative of like these two. This area is kind of a way, and it's for the people who make it from nepotism. Like, we tuck them away because that guy's clearly like not he can barely use the fucking computer. This guy's clearly not competent. Sam just so happens to be. But he didn't get the job through merit. He didn't work his way up. He specifically got it because he was handed it. And so that's just what stuck out to me. These are emeritus people. And then
you know, he says, "No, I'll look it up for you. Just give me a minute." Sam falls asleep in his own office. We get another dream sequence from the European cut that I cannot decipher. Sam wakes up and he's like, "I told you computers were my forte." He gets information that he already had. Like, literally, he gets her driver's license information, and he's like, "I did it."
He's bothered by this guy.
He is bothered. He's like, "I already knew all that." And he's like, "Best to take it slowly when women are concerned."
Fuck this guy. And I know the next scene that I remember was
and then he goes and he does it on the computer himself. He's like, "Okay, this is where she works," and then goes. Anyway, continue.
So the next part I wrote about was when he goes to see, I think, Jack, and he goes to where that transcriber is. Do you remember?
Yes.
That part kind of fucked me up because so a lot of this movie really kind of like makes me think of like what we're currently going through right now, because she's transcribing a torture recording. Like she's like, just a minute, and she's writing, and she's so disconnected. And it reminds me of some politicians who kind of talk about the people in the detention centers and dismissing what they go through, and it's like, yeah, whatever, they're just X, Y, or Z. Like,
Yeah, it's the dehumanization.
yeah, and that part really stuck out to me, and like just also the casual dismissal of like, you killed an innocent man, that should be a bigger deal. Like,
Yeah, so he goes up to get the info on all that, and it's where we introduce to Jack. We don't know what Jack does yet. It's implied that he's like the torturer.
yes.
And then Jack kind of helps him out a little bit.
That scene was weird too.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, here, we'll give you a new suit, and his daughter is fucking off-putting because he's gonna change into a new suit, and the daughter's
She's like, I won't look at your willy.
Yeah, I was like, get out of the room. Like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, it was just a very weird, off-putting scene that kind of shows like what are these children exposed to? The children of these men who do these awful things and just kind of like pretend like everything's normal. You know, like what are they passing on? Like why are they like this? You know, so.
Oh no, he doesn't give him a suit. He gives him the Christmas present.
That's right, the decision maker. The suit's later, I guess.
Yeah, the suit is later. But basically, he goes up to Jack and he's like, "Hey, this whole buttle thing." And he's like, "We don't make," and he's like, "We don't make mistakes, and also that's not like your job. Don't worry about it." And so then we get to what's his name? Fucking Sam. He goes down. Actually, no, new suit. Still with the new suit. Oh, they're called a baggie. So Sam steps away, and two guards are with a baggie, the dude in the contraption thing, and that's when we get him like trying to run down the corridor. We just watch him. And then suddenly, Sam's in the lift. He's going down. He sees Jill at the front office, and he's like, "Oh shit, lady!" And then the elevator keeps going.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and then he goes down to the basement.
And then we hit the basement, and then the guards are upset, and then he starts running away, and then he's getting shot at, and then he makes it back up to the thing, and because he says to stop, they all stop because he doesn't realize his new power. He's an officer now.
Yeah.
He has a badge now. People will listen to him. He does not realize that.
Immediately uses it to his advantage. Second.
Yeah. So he gets back up there. The guards who are about to kill Jill too. He gets Jill out of there, and he's just like, "Hey, saying you have to trust me." Blah blah blah. She's like, "What the fuck is going on?" They get back into her truck.
Yeah, and he's pretending to arrest her, and then they're going, and this is where he starts fucking crashing out.
He starts going insane, bro.
Yeah, and like, you know, he starts telling her that he loves her, and like I knew at one point she was gonna kick him out because he sounds like a fucking crazy
insane person. Yeah.
Like he does not calmly, hey, like
he's like, "Hey, this is gonna be real weird. You're in my dreams. Love you. This is what's happening." And she's like, "You're fucking insane." Tries multiple times to kick him out of her truck, but he is so persistent that she's just like, "Fucking all right."
Yeah. And you know, because like, yeah, he gets kicked out, he latches on, and then they go to the factory where she goes, which I thought that, God, the ads covering all the environmental decay and kind of us seeing like, this is a world where, you know, just it's corporate, you know, like they do what they want, they extract from the earth with no consequences as long as it feeds the machine. And that part fucking bothered me. And then I know she gets the package and they put that mobile house in the back of her truck.
No. She just picks up the package.
When do they load on that?
So when they arrive, that's when we see a house being loaded off of a truck. and they don't put anything on her truck.
Okay, I just remember that the chase scene, the part with the house. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's one of his delusions. Because he saw it earlier. It happened later in a delusion.
Yes, that part, but I mean during the chase scene, because it blocks off the cop cars. Remember?
Like the one that happens right after this?
Yeah, the one that happens right after this. I
No,
remember one of those mobile homes being destroyed. Or am I remembering?
You're misremembering.
I'm misremembering.
Yeah.
I'm working on my memory recall.
So she picks up the parcel at work because she's supposed to go take it to whoever. They're talking about trust, and now he's starting to like suspect her
of being a terrorist.
Yeah. And she's like, "How many terrorists have you ever met?" And he's like, "It's my first day." She fucking laughs at him. And then oh, and that's when they start going through, and they gotta go through a checkpoint now. And Sam starts going fucking insane. He's like, "They're gonna arrest you," and she's like, "No, they're fucking not. I haven't done anything," because she hasn't. It's a delusion of Sam that he's now a part of a larger conspiracy and shit. And so they burst through the fucking thing.
Well, because she is. No, it's after this that she's considered. Never mind. Go on.
Yeah, he's the one that tripped off the alarms and stuff, and that's why the guards showed up in the lobby, and then she happened to be there. Like, he has suddenly now has it in his head that like she's involved in all this and stuff.
I mean, and she kind of is in challenging the system, on behalf of her neighbor.
Mm-hmm. But I still feel like she's not actually challenging the system. She is just a person who's trying to do the thing.
Which I feel, well, in this system, like,
and we're seeing her being frustrated, and she's like kind of the audience lens.
Yeah, I think for me it's because, in these kinds of systems, when you challenge them, and even though they're wrong, they're like, no, we're not, so you're a problem.
She's literally not even challenging them. She's just going from place to place, like trying to do it, and upset about it.
I might be interpreting wrong.
I think you're internalizing it.
Maybe
a little bit, because having just watched it, she's just going to these places, and she is just trying to get the shit handled. And she happened to be in the wrong place. She happened to be, yeah.
But yeah, he starts freaking the fuck out, and this is where he's like, and I felt like this was a result of him being too insulated. Like, he has no idea how to like be calm and collected, because his life has just been so calm and complacent that this is all just overstimulating, and he fucking causes a bunch of destroyed property. Pretty sure a few of those officers chasing him are dead, and also like definitely now putting her in the crossfire because she's with him while he's causing all of this, and she's been seen being arrested by him. But that to me was like, this is where his reality starts really like breaking. Oh, he's also entitled as shit. Like, we got to do things my way. Like, I know best. Like,
yeah,
I'm freaking out.
I'm trying to.
I thought that was the U.S. script. My bad.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, because now we're in a scene that was cut completely.
I have like so many movies to watch this weekend. Like I want to watch the European cut, but like I don't think I will have the time.
Yeah, because of this scene being cut and it being different, I don't know how we get to the shopping department. How we get to the department store. But they're in the department store after like all the bus shit. She still got like the parcel and shit. Oh yeah, because he's like, she's trying to get away from him, I think.
Yeah, she's kind of like, dude, you're like, she's annoyed. She is annoyed.
She's annoyed, yeah.
Waiting, and we run into
We run
the
into
mom's friend.
the mom's friend who looks even more fucked up now, and the daughter. And, that's when Jill goes off with the parcel and stuff because he gets distracted. And then there's another terrorist attack.
Yeah.
And he goes and he's worried about her. He finds her. He's like, I shouldn't have trusted you. I knew that fucking shit was a bomb. And then she throws the parcel at him because it wasn't a bomb. It was just more Christmas gifts.
Yeah.
They start helping people. Cops bust in, and the cops bust in. And as they're trying to help people, as Sam and Jill are trying to help people, the cops are like hurting somebody. And so that's when like Sam kind of snaps and he picks up like a little mannequin arm thing. And that's when like his delusion again crosses into the reality because now the cop is the samurai. And now we're back in that. And we get that whole fight sequence. But then he gets knocked out. And he wakes up in the police van with all the baggies and the two cops. And because he's an officer, he's not in a baggie and stuff.
Oh yeah, he starts having like a nervous breakdown, like in there,
trying to figure out which one is Jill.
And the way that the cops are like, please sir, just like calm down, like
dude, we don't want to do this. Like
this does remind me in a scene, although it's like kind of inverse, of 1984 when the main character is locked in prison and the cops are treating like the normal people very like almost chummy, but then the government workers they're treating like shit. And this is kind of like the opposite because you have all the normal citizenry like bagged up and stuff, and he's just there. They talk to him calmly, and even when they knock him out, they're like, "Well, he's just kind of freaking out."
Yeah. He wakes up in his office. He's getting reamed out by his fucking boss because he hasn't been doing his fucking job. And then he gets upset. He's like, hey, just because you have friends and family members in high places doesn't mean you can fuck around. You got to shape up. And then Sam goes to his buddy again. He's like, I need your computer. He fucks with him. He says no. And he's upset.
Do better. No, I need to find this woman immediately.
Yeah. And then Sam keeps getting things from the tubes. He gets all frustrated. He fucking breaks the tube thing. It explodes in the hallway.
Oh, yeah, when he connects it to the other one.
When he connects the tubes and stuff. He shakes the whole building, and then, he sees the pneumatic system. So as Jack's leaving for the house, he goes back to Jack, who's putting on a bulletproof vest. By the way. And he's going to her trying to get information about Jill. And he's like, bro, you got to drop all this shit. He's like, you're getting way too involved in this. He's like, and as they're leaving, he's like, hey, until all this is over, don't fucking talk to me. He's like, we're close. We're good. He's like, but I don't want to be involved in your shit. Because he's trying to protect himself.
Yeah, because he, like many of the other people, including Sam, are very self-centered. Like, it's about them.
Yeah. And so we get that. And
we also see the baby faces, like that it belongs to the interrogators, which makes me wonder if he's seen an interrogation before, and now that the people.
No, we didn't get that yet.
Yeah. Okay.
No, we don't get to see the baby faces till Jack is. Spoilers till Jack is wearing it. That's the first time we see it in the real world.
Because this is where I wrote like, how the fuck are those in his dreams already? Because or is it just a general knowledge?
Mm-hmm. No, I feel like the things were just in his dreams and used as representative of like, oh, now you can pull from reality and like what's going on there for us. That's for us.
Okay,
that's for us. And so Sam leaves and exhausted. He begins to retrace his journey, and so he goes down because he's like, oh, I'll get help from wait, what the fuck?
Yeah, because I know the next scene is he tries to go back to his apartment.
Yes.
Which that
sorry, I'm having to skip through some stuff. So we get whoa.
More interesting things from the European cut.
Yeah. Just more weird shit that skips over some stuff. So, yeah. So Sam goes back home. The dudes are there, and basically saying, "Hey, we're taking your flat back.
Yeah.
We're taking your apartment." They kick him out, and then that's when Tuttle is there. Tuttle shows up, and he's like, "Don't worry, I'll fuck with him for you." Fucks with him.
This part was
Gross.
disgusting.
Disgusting. I'm not even gonna say it. Just
Can I say it?
He switches their airlines with the sewage lines.
Yeah,
and fills their suits with shit till they explode. The suits, not the people.
Yeah, which is it's funny because those guys are full of shit.
Yeah, and then sorry, this is out of order as I'm reading it. Because Jill asks him if Jill is there first before he goes back into the apartment. It's switched in the European cut.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So that's when Tuttle's out, and then she sees Tuttle, and and Tuttle leaves, and she's like, "Who the fuck is that?" And he's like, "Oh, that's a friend."
Yeah.
And she sees his bruising, and she's like, "What happened to you?" Da 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 da. Oh, don't worry about it. And then they almost kiss.
Yeah, I remember notating her tone changed fucking immensely. Like she is interacting with him.
Exactly. Like the tonal
different.
change from her is really off. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And now I'm starting to think, how much of his delusions? I'm like, are all of these delusions now? That's what I'm starting to think at this point.
We now have an unreliable narrator. Like it's just because that was weird.
Yeah. So he takes Jill back to his mother's apartment for safekeeping. He's like, and they kiss. He's like, "Hey, stay here. I'm gonna go take care of everything." Goes back to the minister office. Okay. Goes up to Dawson. He's like, "Hey, can I see Helpman, the big guy?" And he's like, "No, because," and he's like, "bureaucratic bullshit." He's like, "Right, you're finally learning bureaucratic bullshit." And he goes down to where the guards hang out. The guards are singing Christmas carols and distracted. And then he goes over to the private elevator that they were mad about him earlier about.
Yeah.
And then he types in the thing that he heard from him when they were talking in the bathroom about his dad. And he puts in the little code. And he goes up. And Helpman's not in his office. Nobody's up there. So he goes in, looks around, goes over to the computer, deletes her.
Yeah.
Kills her, marks her as deleted, killed, whatever. No longer exists in the computers. Comes back to the apartment. And he's like, and because of what he did and because he freed her, when he comes back into the apartment he's looking for her, when we see her again, she's Dream Jill in reality.
Yeah,
now.
that threw me
for a fucking loop, brother.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa, how did she grow that hair?
Yeah, and I'm like, okay,
I'm also
bullshit?
like, whoa, I can see her nipples.
So I was too distracted. I was like, is this fantasy? Is this reality? Like,
what
is going on?
See, that's how I know that I'm the straight one.
What?
That's how we know that I'm the straight one, because it was a see-through.
I'm sorry.
Like,
Look,
dress.
some things are more important.
No,
than
I was also caught off guard.
Cinema.
No, but this is also the first time we get a look at Dream Jill that's not covered in a bunch of stuff and
yeah,
all that.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm looking at Dream Jill, and I looked at the dress. I'm like, oh, whoa, see-through, no bra. Whoa, Jill.
Yeah, you're like, oh no.
I'm like, oh no, Jill. And he's like, I deleted you. And she's like, you up for some necromancy? The necromancy, the joke was, or necrophilia joke.
Yeah.
It was so funny. And then,
I was just so confused at this point. I'm like, why is she willing to have sex with him now? Like, when he's kind of the cause of his how did she
all
get
of this? He accused you of being a terrorist a while ago.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's just very jarring, and I'm sure in the European cut and with those dream sequences, and all that
Maybe
stuff,
it might make more sense.
probably making a little bit more sense. And now I don't even need the script. I can just
Also,
I
did
know
we
exactly
glaze over the samurai fight, the end of it?
Oh, yeah, in the department store?
Yeah, so...
Okay, so when he's fighting the samurai in the dream sequence, sorry to go back a little bit, before he gets knocked out and thrown back into his office, when he's fighting the samurai in the department store, when he hits the foot, flames come out, and then when he slashes it, more flames come out. And that is something that I was like, what does that mean, actually?
Yeah, the... the chaos around them, for me, when it showed... So I had to look this up, right? you know,
That is something that I don't know what that means.
I didn't look up. God, there's so much I need to like look up about this movie still. But
Just so you know, we are now an hour and 30 in.
Okay, we will.
Sorry.
We will wrap. Not sorry.
We're still gonna go for a bit, but just so you're aware, we're at 90 minutes right now.
Okay. So the reason he's a samurai is because it's Sam, U-R-I. That's literally what.
Yeah, and then when he took off the samurai mask, it was Sam.
And,
yes.
And this. So the reason I wanted to talk about this was because like he is. And paired with seeing Miss Buttle, he is part of the problem. He is a cog in the machine, and that's kind of what every little bureaucrat is. They are all
he's fighting the other parts of himself. That's what this is saying, right?
Yeah, there's that. But I like for me, I was focused on the fact that and this is like unfortunately, a lot of people move the system forward. It's not just one big it's not one big bad. Like how some people are like once Trump is gone, everything's fine. Like no, he's just the samurai, but behind the samurai...
we need to get rid of IPAC.
Yes.
But no, exactly. It's like you can't remove like one big thing because the vacuum is going to fill anyway.
Yeah.
And it needs to be replaced and refined and fixed.
Yeah, and in some ways, a lot of people, in unknowing ways if you're not self-reflective, are a part of propping up the system. And I felt like this was a very good kind of...
window to that, because like as the movie farther goes, and back to your Icarus flying too close to the sun, the more that Sam tries to do the thing, the more that he's actually like indoctrinating himself.
He's going too far into delusion.
Exactly. And so now we're back. Sorry that we so they're in the apartment.
In the bedroom.
I deleted you. They start banging.
Yeah.
And not for long, because then we see the ceiling circle start, and we're like, "Oh shit, they're busting in!" And they bust in, because they know everything.
Yeah,
it's very much like they know everything, bro.
And this also reminded me so much of the near the ending of 1984, like
absolutely,
when they nab him up.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it reminded me of too. And he's like, "No, she's dead." And it's like, "Nah, bro, we're here for you. You fucked up. You're the one doing all this. Like, you're the one doing all the crazy shit."
And they bag him and hear a shot.
They bag him and they kill Jill. They straight up just shoot her. We hear the shots. And then he's in the chair, and then they strap him up in the chair. And then that's when we get Jack with babyface mask comes in.
Yeah.
And he recognizes like Jack through his uniform and everything, and through his job. He's like, "Jack." Well, first of all, when Jack walks in and sees that it's Sam, he's visibly shaken.
Yeah.
He's visibly shaken. Then he gets over there, and they know that it's each other. And then
he covers the mic.
Yeah, they're being watched, and he covers the mic, takes off the mask. He's like, "What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, why are you making me do this? Like, this is your fault." And da-da-da-da-da-da. He's like, "Don't fucking talk." Like, and he's obviously shaken with the time that he's having.
Which is an amazing like representation of people who are like, it's not, first of all, it's the system and you defied it, and like they take no accountability into like
their part in it.
He's a torturer. He tortures people, most of whom, as we saw with Buttle, are innocent. So, and why are you making me do that? That was so revealing to like, hey, dude, you have to take accountability for the fact that you are about to do ungodly things to this man.
Yeah. Like, you are a bad person. And then when he's about to start the torture, we get a shot from the back of the head out the front.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck? Because that's the first kind of violence we've seen in the movie like that. Like, yeah, we've seen gunshots, we've seen other things, but we have not seen straight up somebody getting shot like that.
Yeah.
We have not seen that. This is the first like actual violent act that we see that isn't a dream sequence, that isn't fantastical.
Explicit. Yeah. Like explicit and not like just state social. Like this is the
exactly. This is explicit act of violence that we see. Like, and that's why it was jarring to me, because it's the first like kind of body gore that we see at all. Period. And then the terrorist engineers fucking repel in.
I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah,
This was where I was like, sus. Right now,
Immediately, I'm just like, what the fuck is going? Tuttle, what are you doing here? And then Tuttle comes in, and I'm like, is Sam that important? I'm like, what's going on? And then they start busting him out. And, they go through the whole ministry. They're busting them out. Their guns are blazing. Da-da-da-da-da-da. They're losing guys on the way out of the building. And, one of Tuttle's dudes is dressed up as Santa. Did you see that?
I missed that.
One of them is Santa Claus.
Okay.
One of them has a Santa hat, white beard.
Interesting. I did miss that.
One of them is dressed up as Santa Claus. A few of them have masks. Like, one had a fox mask, and I think... but anyway, and they're making it out of the ministry and stuff. And eventually, it's just Tuttle and Sam making it out of the building. And then out of nowhere, because they're just running together, Tuttle pulls out a fucking, what's it called? A lever detonator. Like, it's a detonator, but it's like one of the old school ones where you push.
Oh, yeah.
And he literally pulls that out of nowhere. And he gives it to Sam. He's like, and then Sam, whole building explodes. And I'm just like, whoa, they set those bombs?
Yeah, this is where I'm like, this has got to be...
I wasn't yet.
I was confused.
I'm like, what is going on? And then, they're running, and they're in like a department plaza area place that's outside, like kind of like an outdoor mall area. And there's a crowd, and Sam pushes himself through the crowd. Tuttle gets rid of some stuff, puts on a disguise, and then all of a sudden, like... He's besieged by papers. Like, all the trash just starts, magnetizing itself to him until he's, like, fucking covered. He's trying to get it off, and Sam sees it. He goes back. He's trying to get it off of him. And eventually, he's just on the ground with all these papers. There's no Tuttle, and all these people are looking at him. And then...
And to me there, I was like, is this...
I was like... And that's when I went, was Tuttle a delusion the entire time? I'm like, was Tuttle his... real delusion of himself doing the terrorist acts? That's where my brain went.
So for me, at this point, I'm pretty sure that this is not real.
Oh no,
I'm also thinking, like, is this representative of, because like Tuttle is kind of like representative of hope, of things could be different. And was this like, the papers, was this how bureaucracy
takes it away?
Yeah, it takes away hope and makes people feel hopeless.
That's probably what that was too.
Yeah.
But because we have now gotten so much delusion mixed in with reality at this point, in my brain, I'm like, was Tuttle a delusion the entire time? Was Tuttle's, like, his little schizo brain going, this is the justification for my actions. I'm not doing it. This is Tuttle. Tuttle's the one, like, is this a Dr. Jekyll or Hyde and Jekyll kind of thing?
Yeah.
And then the cops show up. He keeps running. He's running by himself.
I think I think at least the first interaction, Tuttle's real. At least the first one, yeah.
Right? Because the second one, he could have done that shit himself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's like you could.
The only thing that makes me think he's not an illusion is because Jill sees him too.
Right. Yeah. So it's like
Jill's acknowledgement of him and being able to see him confirms, at least at some points, he's not a delusion.
Right.
He is in fact real, and the fact that this whole business is because of his paperwork.
But then Jill, with the hair when he shows up in bed, makes me also think, well, is Jill even fucking real?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So all of this, and then he's running through, and then eventually it slips into dream world. As he's running from the cops are now in dream world with him. He's in dream world running from all this stuff. He's running. He gets backed up against the wall with a doorknob, goes into the door. It's one of the houses that was on the truck.
Yeah.
It's one of those houses. And he's a little confused, and he realizes he's moving. He looks in the window. It's Jill driving the truck. Yeah. Oh my gosh. They drive off out of the city. They escape. They use the tiny house, and on like a piece of land, there's a cow.
And I knew this was bullshit because I knew to find the right version to watch, it has a dark ending. So I was like, okay, I know this is bullshit now, but what the fuck is going on?
I was like, oh, okay. And then we suddenly cut back to him in the chair, and Jack and Helpman, his boss, being like, yeah, he's lost. We can't do anything about him. And just like, Sam is now insane.
Yeah. And he's singing the theme song.
And he's singing Brazil
to
himself as they walk out.
Heavy, which close your ears if you haven't seen the movie The Descent. This directly inspired the ending for the horror movie The Descent. It's the view of hope before you take it all away. And it was such a dark ending that I'm really glad. Especially him singing "Fuck Me Up," like that to me, I was like, holy shit. And then from there, I'm like, okay, so Jill was real because like I don't know at what point Jill wasn't real. I know he was real because that's how he ended up in the chair, was deleting her and kind of breaching that level of security.
Like
but it calls into question when fantasy bled in too much.
And this is something that I wanted to talk about at the beginning that I forgot to. Our first dream sequence tells us that Sam is not a reliable narrator.
Yes.
Sam is not a reliable narrator. So we can't trust everything that we're seeing through his lens, right?
Absolutely.
Like his delusions, especially the more that we personally see his delusions bleeding into reality, like he is not a reliable narrator. So it is up to us, the audience, to decipher, okay, at what points are Tuttle and Jill real? Because obviously they are, because he's in the chair. Or was all of that a fantasy while he was in the chair?
Yeah, and even Terry Gilliam said he's lucky he gets that. They may have his body, but in his mind, he's fine. He's on that, he's in Brazil. He's in that sunny coast, like he has a happy ending, and we should be so lucky, because sometimes in the face of totalitarianism, all we can do is retreat, which it haunts me because it's sometimes that is true. Sometimes the empire wins and people are subjected to hundreds of years of oppression where the only escape is through their mind or through, toys, video games, literature, something not real, a fantasy. And that's also what made me love this movie. This movie was very real. This movie ran parallel to...
it's just parallel to a lot of things. Because even when 1984 came out, people were like, yep.
Yeah.
And even me reading it like back in 2023, I think is when I reread it that summer, or like maybe that fall is when I reread it. I was like, yep. I'm like, it's still the same.
Yeah, I read it last year.
It's still there. It's still the same. Like the amount of parallels that are unfortunately present like in our real world. And I think that's why this kind of media is important, that we don't get watered down and we get weird shit like this. It's because it forces us to think, and it forces us to introspectively realize like what parts we are taking part of.
Yes, and
what are we exactly, and like what we are doing. And so yeah, that's why we can't just keep diluting a bunch of shit. We just can't keep remaking things. First of all, Disney, fuck you. I hate you so much.
If they ever remade this movie, I'd be pissed. I'd be livid.
It wouldn't work. I don't think anyone could remake this movie and actually maintain the same through line of message throughout.
I don't think so. And I'm pissed that that Scheinberg thought to sell to the American audience, he needed to take out first of all, like an hour of the fucking movie, pretty much, and then it ends with them ending up happily ever after, and that's, I'm like, you've defeated the purpose of the film. Just make another fucking movie. Make another movie.
Just make another movie.
Yeah.
But this is a very, you sit down and you think. And you watch and you draw the parallels to things in your own life and to things in society, and it's just one of those things that really makes you think. It is like in the sense of science fiction, like it is like it's in perspective. It is a future society that we, may or may not lead to, and it's a cautionary tale. That's what science fiction is. It's always cautionary tales, and that's exactly what this is. This is a cautionary tale as to what can happen,
and it is a powerful satire as well.
Oh my god!
We
kind of skimmed over the amount of like visual satire that is in this movie because it is so fucking heavy with themes, but the visuals that play into this movie are heavily influencing the themes and like bringing those out.
Yeah,
like the actions and the things that we see people do, the small mannerisms, the inflections, the different characters, like his mother and the doctors and all those other kinds of people.
We missed one part that I'm going to go back to.
We missed the funeral.
Which also made me think like, okay, is Jill a representation of his Oedipal fantasy? Because like when she turns around and she's young, it's Jill's face. And I was like,
you're so right. Okay, so while he's running from the cops, in his delusion,
Yeah.
in his delusion while he's running from the cops and stuff out of the chair when he's in his brain. There's the funeral for his mother's friend whose condition had gotten worse because she also did cosmetic surgery, but she did it a different way, and it was bad, and it went wrong, and her body melted.
Yeah.
Essentially. So he bursts into that funeral where he sees, his mother cosmetically rejuvenated again, but this time it's Jill. You're right.
Yeah, and she's giving her affections to the other men in there and ignoring him, and he escapes through the coffin, which was interesting.
Fucking crazy.
Also, our second instance of gore, because like he opens it and just this mass of organs.
Yeah, the only gore that in like violent things that we see are in his delusions.
Yeah.
Rather, other than like the state.
And to me, it's like that's like a waking up and explicitly seeing it, whereas he was so inoculated from the realities of the system that he helped prop up.
Yep.
And yeah, this is a very dense movie. This is a movie that you're gonna have to watch multiple times.
I only watched it the one time. You don't have to. If you're smart like me.
Okay, the consensus of most.
If you're a normie who's not a fucking weirdo like me, who has been studying shit like this for their entire life, and you're not, people. Some have called me pretentious.
I think you love.
I like what I like,
and I do too.
I'm very passionate about what I like and the things that I'm interested in.
And obviously, we love sci-fi enough to create a podcast for it.
So this is like Maggie said, this shit's dense.
Yeah.
Like, I'm probably gonna put in at the beginning. You know what? Editor Greg in the future, put this at the beginning of the episode. Hey, we're about to get in some really dense shit. This is probably the one movie we recommend you watch before watching the main episode.
Yeah, actually,
just go watch Brazil right now. Turn this off. Turn this off. Brazil. Go watch this first so that we can talk about it together and you understand, because this is so fucking dense.
Yeah, and for those who are like, when I say something, you're like, you're misremembering that. I tried to focus as much as I can, but you're gonna miss things or misremember things.
It is incredibly detailed. It is very dense. Just go watch it. Come back.
Yeah.
Okay.
And thanks by the way, thanks so much for sticking. I know this is a long episode, but
anyway, now that we're at like an hour and 50, like we're close to 2 hours now.
As a wrap up, I just want to say, these are the kind of movies that make me love movies.
This is fantastic. This is what media and art is supposed to do, in my opinion. This is something that is intentional, with purpose, to make people think.
That's why we had to present. I felt like we couldn't just read the Wikipedia; it left out so much.
We had to go scene by scene for this one.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed our discussions and that it's made you want to watch the movie again. Hopefully, with us on the Patreon, where we're gonna be breaking it down scene by scene and talking about the themes that we see.
And I'm just gonna be like, that fucking looks weird, man.
It does.
That looks weird as fuck.
And
that's cool.
And if you watch it and you love this movie, I do recommend, based on everything I've read, go to Criterion.com and find this DVD and order it. Like I did. I have it on.
We're gonna watch the European cut soon, so
yeah,
probably worth it. According to that script, dude, there's some crazy stuff in that script that was not in the American version. And I was reading some of that. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Anyway, theater, media, art in general is supposed to make you think and it's supposed to make you feel. All right? That's why we have emotions. As the whole point of theater, even as the start of Western theater and the start of Eastern theater, the whole point of theater and art and media is to question things. The whole reason that the Greeks started the Festival of Dionysus and the theater competitions, the Ditiram competitions, is so that we could analyze and see what's going on in the state, but also, through some comedic pieces. They would have 3 dramatic pieces, one comedic piece called a satyr play. That's where satire comes from. And the whole point of that was so that we as a society could come together, view the issues that we have, and then see a resolution, normally through a deus ex machina, which is the actual machine. That's the name of the machine that would hold the actor that is playing the god. That is called a deus ex machina. That's where that whole term comes from. Anyway, so the whole point of theater...
Deus ex!
The whole point of theater, art, media is to make people think, feel, reflect. And so the reason you like this so much and the reason you like things like this so much is because it's making you do that.
Yeah.
And that is the whole point. And the fact that we keep getting pumped out garbage from giant conglomerates like fucking Disney. Fuck you, Mouse. I don't care if you never hire me.
Fuck you, Bob
Actually,
Iger.
I do care. Bob Iger, you tried to fuck me over.
Yeah, Bob Iger.
Personally. You don't care about people like me. All right? So this is good media. We need more of it. Go watch it. Sorry this took 2 fucking hours.
Yeah, well, thank you. If you stuck through us
My
the whole time.
Also my little rant here at the end. Sorry. It's just like that's what this is about. That's what like this kind of media is about.
And for my final say, the greatest thing that people ever did, I think, is spread stories, and this is a good one. I love the storytelling here. I love watching it all play out. Yes, and I love thinking, but also like it's beautiful thematically, visually. Like every part of this movie, I think works, and I feel like, and there's a reason that it's on the 50 films to see before you die.
This is not just entertainment.
This is not just entertainment. This is art. And if you watched this before watching the movie, I will say, I hope that this inspires you to watch it. This is going to be a movie I'm going to be annoying about and say, guys, you have to watch Brazil.
Yeah, it's a good one.
So thank you. Please join us on our Patreon. And we hope to see you guys on our next episode where we will be doing
what are we watching?
John Carter of Mars.
Is that what you decided?
Yeah, so far. I don't think I'll change it. I really loved that movie, and I honestly want to see if...
I never watched John Carter.
Yeah, I want to know, because to me, right, I rewatched it not too long ago, and I thought this is such a fun movie. I don't know why it didn't get a sequel. I don't know why it did so bad, and I'm hoping that through people watching our podcast, you know, we'll see a bunch of new fans for John Carter. They'll never make a sequel, don't get me fucking wrong. But I don't think we'll get that big to inspire that. But I hope that you all join us for that one and watch the movies that we're suggesting.
Yeah.
And y'all have a wonderful day.
Yeah, if you don't see us on the Patreon, we'll be here next week for John Carter. And see you in the Patreon.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye.